Artificial intelligence was once hailed as the great equalizer, a force that would democratize opportunity, automate drudgery, and make life easier for everyone. But the reality unfolding in 2025 is very different. Instead of narrowing economic inequality, AI is accelerating the wealth gap on a superscale, enriching a tiny elite of corporations, investors, and technologists while leaving ordinary workers and small businesses behind. The concentration of AI power. AI's explosive growth has created one of the most concentrated wealth transfers in modern history. The bulk of profits from the AI revolution are flowing into just a handful of companies: Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta, which dominate both the infrastructure and the data pipelines that feed the technology. Nvidia sells the chips. Microsoft and Amazon rent the computing power. Google controls the algorithms. Meta controls the user data. Together, they own the ecosystem. The result is a digital oligopoly where 5 companies reap almost all of AI's financial rewards. Their market capitalizations have ballooned to historic highs, and their influence over global innovation has become absolute. For everyone else, the coders, content creators, freelancers, and small firms, the economics are far less promising. As AI models get smarter, they're also replacing the very people who once fueled the digital economy. Writers, designers, translators, customer service agents, and even software engineers are finding themselves competing not with each other, but with machines that can do their work faster, cheaper, and at scale. Productivity for whom? AI boosters claim the technology is boosting productivity, and they're right, but the benefits aren't being shared. Productivity growth is concentrated in capital-heavy firms that own or rent AI infrastructure, not in the labor force that depends on those firms for wages. Economists call this capital-biased technological progress, when innovation primarily benefits asset owners rather than workers. We saw it during the Industrial Revolution, but AI is magnifying it at unprecedented speed. This time, the wealth generated by automation isn't trickling down, it's pooling upward. The displacement wave, a quiet wave of AI-induced layoffs, is already rolling through industries. From journalism to call centers to legal services, automation is eliminating jobs that once provided stable middle-class incomes. Companies call it efficiency, workers call it existential. Meanwhile, AI tools are flooding online markets with cheap, automated content, blog posts, designs, videos, eroding the value of human creativity. The digital gig economy, once seen as a path to independence, is collapsing under a flood of machine-made work that pays fractions of a cent per task. The result? A new divide. Those who own AI and those who are replaced by it. The global divide deepens. AI is also widening the global wealth gap. Rich nations with cloud infrastructure and data centers will dominate the AI economy, while developing nations, still reliant on low-cost human labor, face a future of diminishing demand. This could reverse decades of globalization, trapping poorer countries in technological dependence and deepening global inequality. Even within countries, the effects are striking. The top 10% of earners are now capturing nearly 70% of all AI-driven stock market gains. The bottom half? They're losing purchasing power, jobs, and economic relevance. The coming social reckoning. The implications are vast. A shrinking middle class means weaker consumption, lower growth, and rising political instability. Economists warn that if AI-driven inequality continues unchecked, it could trigger mass discontent and social unrest. Governments are far behind the curve. Tax policy, education, and labor laws haven't adapted to an economy where machines do most of the work. Without structural reforms, such as profit-sharing models, digital taxes, or universal basic income, the AI revolution could harden class lines for generations. Conclusion: artificial intelligence isn't just changing industries, it's reshaping the economic hierarchy. The promise of AI democratization is fading fast, replaced by a new form of algorithmic aristocracy where power and profit belong to those who control the code. As the world races to adopt AI, the question isn't whether it will create wealth, it is who will own that wealth. And right now, the answer is clear. Not the many, but the few. If you found this analysis valuable, hit like, subscribe to Financial Vlog for real, no-fluff breakdowns on money and technology, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next report on how AI is reshaping the global economy.